This is really cool.
There we go.
We are unpacking live. This is super exciting.
How about
Uh,
that?
I am Christian from Hunky Tops, the owner of your favorite queer LGBTQ Latino owned apparel store. And we're here today in our first episode live chatting with Joe. Introduce yourself, Joe.
Christian, it is a pleasure being here. Number one. Number two, we've known each other for quite some time,
Now,
and
yes.
we're evolving our working relationship and our friendship. And yeah, I'm Joseph Federico, the marketing maven, owner of J Federico Marketing, social media extraordinaire, and an ambassador for Hunky Tops, as well as an editor for the blogs. So we're
Yes,
unpacking live
absolutely.
today.
This is super exciting. Joe, you convinced me to do this. I was a little bit hesitant. I'm not super comfortable on camera. I have all kinds of issues. I overthink things. So I appreciate you giving me the push and say, hey, let's do this. Let's try, go live and see how we do.
You don't know
And
till you try, Christian.
absolutely. And I'm so
Same with
excited.
social media, by the way, folks.
It's true. It's true. So thank you so much for pushing me to do this and for being here,
Yeah,
and yeah, and for writing all of those articles that you've written for the blog. As a little bit of context for everybody watching, at Hunky Tops, I've always wanted to create a community around the apparel. The apparel is for LGBTQ people. Well, it's for everyone, right? But my main target audience is LGBTQ people. Um, but I didn't want to just have t-shirts for sale. I just wanted to create a community, and in the times that we're living, it feels like it's even more important, right? And
absolutely.
as part of creating a community, I wanted to have a space on the website on the shop where we could tackle hard topics or any kind of topics, really, not just talking about fashion, but talking about multiple things. And that's
Sure.
where you came in, Joe. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the stuff that you've been writing about in the blog?
Yeah, so this has been very cathartic for me as well, Christian. I know we started December 2024 with Krampus. We all have an obsession with Krampus around the holidays. I tend to like darker humor,
And horror.
and and horror. I write horror, I publish horror, I read horror. Um, but I think a lot of us do in the queer community. That's another article that we're going to talk about actually is why we
Absolutely.
love horror. And we kind of alluded to that in the Krampus article, but the evolution has been natural with us, I think, Christian, and I know it has from our very first conversation. And where can we work together? Not only, being advocates of each other's small businesses and growing businesses, but where we can evolve those relationships and friendships going forward. And a lot of that also, I think, is coming from my writing. I have a background in writing, of
Mhm.
course. And just allowing us to share the conversations. I know a lot of queer men, especially, I mean, all members of the LGBTQIA plus community and our allies, what they go through, what we all go through, but queer men especially. And that led us to today picking really a hot topic, a hot button, and seeing where people can join in on the conversation on the website, but also on these lives and seeing what happens. We
Absolutely.
all can fall victim to burnout, and that's what today's topic is really about, is how to avoid it and being honest and transparent about why it happens. So
Absolutely. So, such an important topic, Joe. One that many of us have experienced, and like you said, is not an exclusive malady of gay men. Absolutely, but that's who we are, and that's what we know.
yeah,
So that's what we're speaking about it from the gay men perspective. But of course, this is not an exclusive thing for us. That's not what we're trying to say here.
sure.
Um, so yeah, burnout. Tell me about it. Tell me about your experience.
I would like to say, especially a part in the article, speaking from experience, and then we'll flip the script and turn it on you in a moment. But really, I, again, from my own perspective and my own growth and healing trauma and all that fun stuff that comes with being a man, being a human, but also being a queer man, and a professional. It starts early on. It did for me, Christian,
Uh-huh.
where I was actually speaking about this with my partner of 19 years yesterday, going to my mother in law's for dinner last night about I remember a point in my life when I literally was told I had to be a certain way, and I was the older brother. When my younger sister came along, I was 5 years old, 4.5, 5 years old when I was told how I should be and why I would have to be the protector. I had to always be number one in the game, and then that evolved as I grew up. Of course, didn't know, kind of going through life as we all do through our adolescence. That bled into my personal and my professional life. And I still have a problem with burnout, to be honest, and always trying to be on top, get everything done because I know that I deserve it all. We all deserve it all,
We
right?
do. Yes.
Especially in this economy, this universe, this world, this this lifetime. But it it really is a major thing, and I know that a majority of us, from speaking with Connor Edwards on the Queerness Diaries and
Hmm.
speaking with other professionals that are podcasters and even business owners here in my own town, not only queer, but our allies, definitely suffer from burnout. And that's still a problem for me. I mean, today's Friday. To be honest, I'm very happy to be here, but full transparency, I'm exhausted. I'm sure you are too.
I imagine.
Emails
Yes.
and getting people ready for events and book signings and prides coming up. We have to get ahead of the game regarding content. And for me, it's just been a wild ride, a wild evolution of burnout, and we're just here to talk about it, and
And
not put a mask on and say, well, it doesn't happen. It happens. So
so, Joe, before we continue our discussion, maybe we should try to define what burnout is.
sure.
Uh, what is burnout?
Burnout for me is extreme exhaustion and not allowing yourself to have boundaries. And I think that's important to recognize why we do that. Number one, how it makes our body feel, mind, body, and soul, and how we can recover from it as quickly as possible without overdoing it and jumping to the next task. So, what does burnout mean to you as a working professional, but also as a business owner?
So yeah, it's tough. Like you said, it's a thing that not a lot of people talk about, right? But it really is this, like, in my life, it manifests burnout manifests as just this lack of motivation. There are days where I just, like, I cannot do anything else. It's like, or if I do things, I just do them by, like, have it but not, I lose all enjoyment, right? It's like
Yes.
I stop enjoying things that I love. For instance, creating designs for Hunky Tops, right, is the thing that I love about the shop. I look forward to doing it, but when I'm burned out, it's like I don't enjoy it anymore. It feels like a chore. I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. I just want to stop everything. I just want to get off, right? It's and it's scary. It scares me because it's like I said, it's these are things that I love, and when you stop enjoying the things that you love, I worry that that may spread to other things that I also love, right? So
Right.
that's when you have to say, well, maybe I should stop and think and try to figure out and solve this issue, which is also
Yeah.
not easy, right? It's like recognizing that you have a problem, but also because this whole thing is like you have to keep going, right? You have to do the things and you have to do all the things, and then all of a sudden you say to yourself, man, you have to stop and take time for
Hmm.
yourself. It's scary because it's like, who's gonna do all the things that I gotta do,
It is
right?
scary. It is scary, especially when things start piling up and your health is very important, especially as a small business owner and an evolving business owner. You're wearing many hats, quite literally,
Well,
right?
I'm wearing one
You
today,
are,
but
I am. You're wearing the Hunky Tops hat, which I want one, by the way. But yes, you're wearing a hat literally. But you're the content producer, you're the salesman, you're the email marketer, you're the social media, intern, you're
yeah, all of
everything
it.
possible,
Designer,
and then the you hit it on the head though. The fear of missing out, FOMO, regarding your business. If you're down and out, if I'm watching, for instance, I'm in the middle of watching The Circle on Netflix about social
mhm,
media and personas and catfishing, which is literally part of my business, but for
yes.
fun. I know that sounds insane, but that's my go-to. And I'm like, if I watch X amount of hours a day, no one's sending out the emails, no one's
Right.
taking the meetings, no one's producing content. And I'm literally, for me, in charge of so many different accounts and so many different people's livelihoods
Right.
that it's like burnout or bust,
Right.
and
Right.
I'm running on fumes by Thursday, Friday afternoon, and then like the weekend, I'm still working on the weekends because we're small business owners.
Yeah. There's no end to the grind, and it's yeah. Is it healthy? I don't think so. So maybe we should talk a little bit about how to do about it. How I mean, what to do about it. How do we
How do we get
uh,
out of it?
do we get out of it? How do we make better, healthier choices?
Yeah, well, I'm a big advocate of therapy. I know that not everybody can afford it.
Yes.
In today's economy, we're working two, three, four, five jobs just to get by, most of us. But um, at least for me, I recognized in my life almost 4 years ago. It was the summer 2021 where I was like, "This is a problem." And I want everything in life that I've been working towards. I went to school
You deserve
for.
it.
I've been growing my business, and I deserve it. I think we all should have that mindset of we deserve it all, and we can. But how we should do it smartly, right?
Right.
And take steps in doing it healthily. So I hit therapy, and I worked through that for the last 3.5 4 years. So that's one option. Okay, but sometimes we have to listen to our bodies. If we can't afford that, we can't afford to be sick. So I
Right.
think we have to listen to our bodies and take a step back and say, what's happening? Am I just dehydrated? Should I take a sip of water and take breaks? Should I draw boundaries with my clients and my schedule and my calendar? Should I not take as many meetings? And how can we say no? And no is actually healthier than saying yes to everything, at least in my opinion.
Absolutely, I agree with you. I'm a fierce defender of my calendar. I will fight for it, and I like to, yes, definitely like save time to do the things that I love that are not work related. Like watching TV with my husband or
Yes,
dinners. Meals are sacred. And I was raised Catholic. I'm a Latin American person, so we have this whole thing about food, which is probably not super healthy, but they are meals are super important to me. Just those are moments that I treasure with my family, and I
right,
defend them. Right, so it's like nobody sets meetings around lunchtime, and if somebody has to, I fight them, and if there's no other solution, then I'll move my lunch, but
right.
otherwise I don't. Same with dinner. You know, uh, I put those things in the calendar and they're blocked, and those are sacred times, right?
Yeah,
I feel like that's really important for me to set those boundaries. And like you said, saying no is really hard because, again, you said it earlier, the FOMO, right? It's like if I say no to this opportunity, am I hurting my business? Am I limiting my possibilities? Maybe I should say yes to everything. And that's the kind of thinking process that leads to burnout.
sure.
So just learning to say no, saying realizing that it's okay, and prioritizing your own health is definitely a part of it.
And putting your phone down. I mean,
Oh, that's
it's
tough. Yes.
true that this is always circulating around all the social media platforms, Christian, and those that are listening. Back before the invention of the iPhone, right, or a tablet or the smart device, you would call somebody on their landline. I know
Oh
that
my God,
to
I
the like,
remember.
what's the landline, right? Or you would need 10 cents or 25 cents or 35 cents
Right.
to go to a payphone by Bell Atlantic. That's talk about marketing. Like we
Oh
could
my
go into a
God.
whole different
Yes.
conversation. So you would need to literally contact somebody at their home or office, and you have to memorize their phone number.
I know.
And
Yes.
back in the day, and I know we're the older generation, and I'm like, I'm proud of that. We've lived through
Oh yeah.
several
Absolutely.
decades
Absolutely.
and iterations and evolutions of social media, as well as
Yeah.
ways to contact other human beings, right? But or technology. And there wasn't email back in the day either. So you either got somebody on
Right.
the phone or you didn't. We respected each other's time. Now we're always connected, and there's a plus side to that, and there's a negative side to that. And we always expect each other and ourselves. We hold each other to higher standards where there are lack of boundaries that we have to be
Right.
available 24/7 to connect with another human being regarding business or a lunch or some kind of transaction.
Right.
And that's huge. But we also celebrate the hustle culture, and I've definitely fallen victim to that myself working with corporate in the past.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And yeah, we should definitely throw out those notions. That's
Let's
not.
dig into that a little bit more. Yeah, the hustle culture.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like it's been part of all of the message that we received since we're very young, or at least I don't know
I
if
did.
it's if it's
Yeah,
still the case, but I feel like, yeah, I feel like it is, right. Like that you have to you know kill yourself over your work, and do everything that you can to succeed, and it just like never stopping. And I don't, yeah, that's definitely not healthy. I understand that people, I mean, so people different people have different levels of like energy and capabilities, I guess. To
sure.
I mean, I know people that can do everything, or they feel like it feels from my perspective like they can do everything, and maybe they can, and that's fine for them, but that's not for everybody, and that's something that we need to accept and be
Right.
cool with.
But
Yeah,
it's
I
celebrated. It's so celebrated, Christian. I mean,
I know.
working,
And how can we avoid that? We should just start celebrating taking breaks and prioritizing
celebrate
your
boundaries.
boundaries. Yes, like celebrating
Celebrate. I'm not
mental health.
available,
Yep,
you
and
know,
that's totally fine.
but I think again, speaking for myself as gay men and those that I've spoken with over the years, we hold ourselves to completely different standards because I think we're afraid of abandonment. If we don't produce and we're not top dogs and the alpha dogs and the best producing human being we can be, we're afraid of losing out. Not just FOMO. I think it goes beyond that. It's innately in our DNA, literally, to feel like we're failing if we don't always produce and we're not number one.
I do feel like, well, you mentioned a little bit your Italian heritage. Like I said, I'm
Yes,
Latino, and I feel like Italians and Latinos kind of share on that. My
very
husband,
similar.
is Italian, but I do believe that as gay people in those cultures, um, it's even worse, right? Because I feel like this is pressure that's put on every male, or maybe in every person. I don't really know,
Yeah,
but um, as gay people, we always feel like less than, like you said it in the article, right? It's like because we have all this internalized homophobia, and we grow up with it, and especially in these cultures. Um,
sure.
so we have this pressure of being of always being like you know succeeding, and also we have this additional pressure of like, hey, I'm also gay, and this is not a great thing, so I gotta even do better, right? I have to make up for it. um, so all of that definitely adds to uh, this process of that ends up in just you burning out. And
Negative process. Yeah.
yeah, and so we definitely need to to get out of our heads, and figure out a way of setting those boundaries. And
It's,
it's hard again, because this is years and years of programming from your culture, from society. It's
it
yeah,
is.
it's hard.
It's more and more and more, and equating working more, burning out harder, burning out faster to a higher paycheck or more respect in the community. Is that the truth? I don't necessarily think so, because I've experienced the opposite end of it,
That's true.
and I joke with my future husband and I say, all I want in life is to just work on our relationship, work on my health, get more clients, get more money, and live away from people where I can just be left where I can just be
Just
left
leave me
alone.
alone. Yes, yes, absolutely. um yeah, it's true. I mean, what's the reason, like, is it we agreed it's not healthy, but yeah, it's not even worth it, right? So it's like you spend
It's
all
not
this
worth it,
time,
especially around the
you kill
holidays.
yourself for what?
No,
No, no.
getting myself sick. And just it's funny how the older you get, the wiser you get. And in my case, I definitely agree. I wish I knew these tricks 20 plus years ago.
That's an interesting thought, though. Do you think that it's an age thing? Like, we are at a point in our lives where we are realizing these things, and will everybody get to it like as they get older, or?
I don't think everybody, especially not to get political, but touching upon it a little bit,
Mhm.
I don't think everybody's going to get it, as
Yeah,
we've seen with other things in our culture. Let's just
yeah.
we'll leave it at that. Drop the mic.
Okay, no,
Um,
okay, I do see your point, and I think I agree. Um,
alluding
but
to a bigger issue, obviously, but it's neither here nor there. But
I do agree that I feel the same way as you. That at this point in my life, is like I'm not doing this shit anymore, right? It's like, well,
no,
I'm sorry, I don't even know if we can curse on YouTube. Can we
well,
curse on YouTube?
I was going to ask you, but like, if we're going there, then we might as
I
well really real.
I don't
On the
really know.
second episode, we'll really be
We'll
real.
we'll find out. I don't know. I haven't
We'll
even.
find if we get bleeped. You
We'll
know,
find. Yeah, we'll read it. There's a lot of stuff going on with the queer community on social media. So the last thing we need is to be
we're being,
censored
dude, girl, we are
again.
being
And
censored left and right.
I keep hearing about this.
And it's happened to me like legitimately in real life the past few weeks. So
You told me
yeah,
about this on TikTok. Yeah.
yeah.
I've been looking at the reach of my posts. I haven't stopped the amount of things that I publish on social media is the same, but the reach of those is getting smaller and smaller. So is it that the content is not good, or is it that social media networks are just sharing less queer content?
They're
I don't know.
they're
We'll find
changing.
out.
I mean, now, I mean, this is again probably a whole different episode. I know we're limited
Yes,
on time, but
we are getting there.
we
Yes.
now have to verify the platforms, and now TikTok is verifying content before it even shares it. There's a little bit of a lag between posting and
Posting
getting
and
shared.
yeah.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to delve into this in our next
that's a whole
episode,
different article too, right?
Joe. Absolutely, yeah, definitely write another article and we'll talk about it.
We'll chat.
But this has been great conversation, Joe. I feel like it's important. This conversation doesn't have to stop here, though. There's that article on the website,
It
so
is
if you are watching this live or if you're watching it on the replay, you can just go to hunkytops.com. There's a link to the blog in there. You can read all of the articles that we published. There's more articles coming.
unpacking the closet. Yeah,
We're always publishing stuff there, so make sure you check it out and check it out regularly. Um, Joe, before we go, I do have to do this. I want to shout out your
yeah.
T-shirt.
There we go.
Too hot to handle. And I just put a QR code on the screen. So
Scan it
again,
right now.
if you scan that, you can get Joe's T-shirt. Tell me a little bit about your T-shirt, Joe. You like it?
So this is a size large. I fluctuate between medium and large, but I found your tops. All kidding aside, the large to me more comfortable around my not so perfect spots, even though I'm working out and losing weight.
They look
But
great.
I wore this to the gym a few times. I get looks because it's a great shirt. It's a great design. But they're just
You wear it nicely
comfortable,
too.
and I also wear them to bed. To be honest, this is my like hiking throw around shirt too. Like this is an
Shocking.
all around t-shirt you can just screw around with, and
I
and and
love
it's
it.
really light and comfortable. So
I love it.
um
Thank you,
yeah,
Joe.
yeah. But
I,
that's
I,
all. He didn't pay me to say that, guys.
no, it's true. This is true. I'm shouting out my T-shirt, the Cowbear T-shirt that I'm wearing out. This is one of my
That
latest
is hot.
designs.
That's a hot
I
shirt.
thank you so much. So I love it. I love cowboys. I love bears, and I figure why not do a hairy cowboy, and that hairy cowboy, I guess, is a cowbear. So
It looks like the
that,
Maverick too, like the old
uh,
Maverick movie. Yeah,
or yeah, like I feel like it belongs in the cold.
yeah.
Thank you, whoever scanned the code. Thank you so much for the scan. Like in the cold, cold studio porn website, which I love, by the way.
Yes.
And also my hat is the love Hunky Tops. This is the branded hat that I love my logo, and so I figure I had to
And
throw
just
this.
love the queer community.
Yes, absolutely. We're trying to share positivity and share love, and that's what we're here for. So yeah, Joe, thank you so much for your
Yeah, we have a
time.
lot more to say in the future. Let's do this again.
So we'll definitely do this again. We haven't really discussed when we're gonna do it again. So yes, we're gonna save that conversation for private. But yeah, I think this is the spot. Friday 2 p.m. feels good. 2 p.m. Eastern time. To everybody tuned in live and also watching this on the replays, thank you so much. If you have any comments, questions, just leave a comment on the video, or you can
Yeah.
message me on social media. Uh, the Hunky Tops social media. I'm behind all of them. So if you send a message anywhere on Hunky Tops,
It's all him, guys.
it's me who's replying. Thank you, Joe. So yeah, go to hunkytops.com. There's links to the social media there. Blue Sky is really where I spend most of the time lately. So if you're on Blue Sky, go there too. Joe, where can people find you?
Yeah, so namely Instagram, Joseph A. Federico or Pride Promotion Podcast. And if you guys have any questions, regarding the shirt or even about social media, not a hard sell, but I'm available. My office line, and I'm gonna just say it right here: 973-289-3517. Shoot me a text.
I should have next time.
Next time.
I should have
So
had
the
like
replay,
a,
pause, rewind it.
a lower
Um,
third with your number. We'll do that next time.
and I'll hook you up with a free consultation or just talk about marketing questions or the shirt or the shirts. And I'll pass you
So
along to Christian.
I was gonna say, Joe. Also, people, if they go to the blog and they go to Unpacking the Closet, at the bottom, there's your little bio. There's a link to your social media there too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
people can find you through there as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been great. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
and
much.
we'll be in touch. And now I got to figure out which button I hit to end this stream. So hopefully this will work. Okay, goodbye.